People give all kinds of excuses for not eating right. We know we should, but we don't. Sometimes it's because we don't know what to eat, but most of the time we do, and we still make bad decisions. So why is that?
In this video, we look at the most common excuses and the ways to overcome them. Diabetes sucks.
But at Simply Diabetes, we can help you manage your diabetes cheaper and easier.
We are not medical professionals. We are people with diabetes, just like you.
Welcome. Healthy food is too expensive.
I don't have time to cook.
I don't know what to eat.
I already messed up today, so I'll start again tomorrow.
I don't want to give up my favorite foods.
It's too hard when eating out.
My family doesn't eat this way.
Healthy food is boring.
I don't see results fast enough.
I don't have the willpower. Let's look at these excuses and see what's really going on.
Healthy food is too expensive. I mean, it really is. That's not an excuse, that's reality.
I can certainly sympathize when people complain about the prices. I go shopping too, and I too am worried when I look at some of the prices. But all food is getting expensive, not only the healthy things, but the garbage food too. We have to eat something, and we want the food to work for us, not just to fill the bellies.
You often hear simplistic advice, something like buying whole foods like eggs, beans, and frozen veggies can be cheaper than processed snacks. It can sometimes be, but often it isn't. So what now?
Now we have to be creative. We are frugal and creative, so we often look at less obvious solutions. For example, yogurt is very expensive, particularly good quality Greek yogurt. But making it at home takes literally a couple of minutes, and it costs a quarter or less of what the store-bought yogurt does. Similarly, a can of chickpeas is expensive, but if you buy dry and soak it overnight, it suddenly costs a fraction. And soaking takes no time for us. We just set it and forget it until the next day.
We try to eat a lot of veggies. We buy them in the ethnic stores. It's a lot less expensive there for some reason.
Shopping in ethnic stores can also be an adventure. We used to find fruit and vegetables we've never seen before. Now we are more familiar with these stores and have a few new favorites. But at the beginning, it was a lot of new stuff. I loved it. Another way to save on veggies is to grow your own, preferably from seed. These are the best because they are organic and the freshest they can be. Seeds are a lot less expensive than plants.
You grow some stuff.
Yes, I try to grow things that are expensive in the store but cheap from the garden, or things that aren't easy to find, like kohlrabi or fennel leaves.
We also have a trick with meats. We find manager specials in our regular store. These are meats that are good, but close to the expiry date.
We cook or freeze them right away so they don't get spoiled.
A lot of people don't have time to cook.
I can understand that. That's why we use the simplest recipes. The internet is full of quick ones, and we try to get done in 10 minutes or less. If something is more complex and we have the time, we cook a lot of it and freeze in portions for later. It works fantastically well when we truly don't have time, or simply when we don't feel like cooking. Just pull it out of the freezer, heat it up, and eat. Soups are also great. They simmer longer than 10 minutes, but I don't have to babysit them. I just set the timer so I don't forget something is cooking.
Some people say they don't know what to eat. It can be confusing, particularly when you are new to diabetes.
Carbs particularly can be confusing. Our best advice is to stick to good proteins, non-starchy veggies, and healthy fats. Eliminate sugar where possible. We have a video about hidden sugars. I added the link below.
What if someone makes a mistake? They ate something they shouldn't. The temptation is to give up for today and start over the next day.
No. You can't just say fluff it just because you ate a cookie or something.
What if you ate an entire bag of chips?
Oh, but even then, that's just one mistake. One misstep doesn't need to ruin everything. If I make a mistake like that, I take a deep breath, brush my teeth, and start over. No need to throw away an entire day just because I goofed once, or even more than once.
The next excuse is that we don't want to give up our favorite foods. So many people have favorite foods that are way too carby. I remember when I was first diagnosed with diabetes, my first thought was, I don't want to give up all my favorites. I knew they aren't good for me, but I really like them.
Yeah, like pasta or potato chips.
Yes, those.
I remember how unhappy you were. The standard advice is to modify your favorite recipes to make them low carb with no sugar.
But how do you modify potato chips?
You don't. You just eat a small portion on occasion as a treat. Make sure you don't grab an entire bag because stopping halfway through, it's nearly impossible. Pasta is easier. A lot of times it's not the pasta that people crave, it's the sauce. So if you replace the pasta with zoodles, for example, which is pasta made from zucchini, that is often a nice substitution.
So the solution is to try and find a substitution. And if that's not possible, eat a small portion as a treat, but not very often.
Yes,
What about eating out? People claim it's too hard.
that depends where you're going. Many restaurants have low carb options. Grilled meats, veggies, and salads are good choices. Fast food is harder, but even then you can find salads and such. Focus on carbs rather than calories, though.
Sometimes the biggest obstacle is the family. They don't want to eat the diabetes way. Then what?
That's a tough one. Ideally, the family would support you. It's easiest for us because we both have diabetes, but it's better for the family too to eat less carby and with more vegetables. That's when we need to spend some time to develop the new favorites that are also healthy. But if they really insist on not making any changes, if it doesn't work, we can serve some extra sides for them that the person with diabetes doesn't eat.
It's hard not to eat those.
Agreed. That's why we should add the sides that are good for everyone as well.
I used to think healthy food was boring.
Says the guy who used to eat the same breakfast every day for months on end. But I understand, a lot of people think healthy food is tasteless and pretty awful. And let's face it, how many kale salads can you eat before you turn into a rabbit? But we have options here. We can choose different meats and different veggies. Also, spices, herbs, and creative recipes can make healthy foods delicious.
It's fairly easy to start eating healthy, but it's hard to stick with it. People complain about not seeing results fast enough.
That's because they are focusing on the wrong thing. If you focus on your weight, it can be demotivating to watch the scale inching down agonizingly slowly, or not at all. I always focus not on the scale, but on the blood sugar. The results are almost immediate, and you can be proud of that. The scale will take care of itself, or not. Not my focus.
What about willpower?
What about it? If you only rely on willpower alone, you're not going to make it. Planning and prevention are your friends. We plan meals, cook in batches, and always have something good to defrost. It's also a good idea to keep tempting foods out of the house, or at least hidden somewhere else. Also, sometimes when the cravings strike, it's really hard, but all is not lost. We have a video about that linked in below.
What excuses do you use? How do you overcome them? Tell us in the comments. If you found this video useful, give us a like. Subscribe to our Simply Diabetes channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. We post one every Tuesday.
And don't forget to tell your friends. Together, we can keep diabetes at bay.
See you next week.
Until then, keep your blood sugar in the healthy range.